Okay, science. So I decided to take a break. I haven't really haven't got past this engine yet. So I went to town and I got a sandwich. So I want to show you the clue that I received. So I gotta look at this here. I got a piece of paper. We'll go with this one. Well, that's what this one. Okay, I got new ones down here. Let's grab a new one. There we go. So this is the sandwich that I got. Okay, so I look at this. I have to analyze it and see, what kind of information I can get out of it. And instantly, when I look at this is French. It says F-I-R-E. So that's fire. Okay. So I'm gonna write these down first to see how I come up with my information. How did he come up with this nuclear fusion engine? You know, that type of question. So, I just really pay attention to my clues. This is pretty much the same as the hamburger package. So this here becomes fire. Oops. This here becomes fire. Okay, so that's that one, fire. And then this is like fire part. Fire part. Okay. But you have to reuse this little word here. So fire part 10. And once I seen that fire part 10, I knew instantly what they're telling me to do. So I knew my clue right then and there. So once I seen that, my brain has to go to this. And my brain sees this in my mind, okay? This is what my brain saw, right? So as soon as I see fire part 10, I know we're looking at the engine. So this is the engine here, right? So fire part. So the fire part is the hydrogen and oxygen coming into here to be superheated with lasers. That's the fire part. So that's this part here, like fire part. The 10, in my mind, instantly when I seen 10, I thought of the hydrogen atom, because this is a hydrogen atom. So, or water, I should say. So, it looks like this is exactly what it looks like, science. There's 8 of these yellow water protons, 4 earth neutrons, or no, these are yellow water neutrons, 4 green earth protons, and 4 air neutrons. Surrounded by 1, 2, 6. There's 8 electrons. And then you got these hydrogen parts here. So these are wrong. These are old ones. That should be green, and that should be orange. So this should look green. So because those should be green, this probably has to be revised as well. So this is an older model. So I instantly know that there's 8 fire electrons. This should be green. This should be 8 earth protons. Okay. So I'm going to redo this drawing, but I'm going to do it correctly. So in my next video, when I talk about it, you'll have the correct information. It'll look different. This will be orange, this will be green, and then this will be yellow, and that'll be water, or yellow, then blue. So the only thing I have to switch is these two, to switch them around, okay? So what it means is this fire part 10 means these fire electrons, there's 10 of them. So there's 8 here, and then there's 9, 10. That's what I saw in my mind. Okay, so they're saying fire part 10. So now I have to figure out in my mind what's going on with that. So because there's 10 of these particles, and there's only let me see, there's 10 fire electrons, and therefore there would be 10 earth protons. You would want to have it like this, but this is different too. I've modeled it after this, so you can get a better understanding. I'll redo it in my next video, but what the spirits are saying is there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 orange lasers. And because there's 10 in this diagram, there's 8 water protons and 8 plus 2 down here, that's 10. You want to have 10 of them, so you have 10 yellow lasers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's what that bag means. Fire part 10. Okay, so now you want to add these other ones. So in this drawing here, there's 4 earth neutrons. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you add 4 green lasers, and then you add 1, 2, 3, 4 blue lasers. Because when you're breaking apart the water and transferring, you're breaking it into hydrogen and that oxygen molecule. Yeah, and then you're forcing it through the plasma to force it through to create ions. Basically, to bust that apart there, you need to shine those lasers on it so that you can break that atom apart. Here, you can break that apart. You can break it apart with the laser. So it breaks it down quantum subatomically into these particles or ions. You're looking for ions. So this whole particle, it can't fit through the machine, basically. So you need these lasers specifically in those fashions so to break those apart in that fashion. So that's what you're looking at there. Fire part 10. So it allows, when you add these numbers on there, like 10 lasers, you're basically, each laser is designed with a specific, I would say, frequency. Each laser has a specific frequency conducive to breaking apart that atom. You need to break apart that part, that part, that part, that part, that part, and that part, and that part, and that part, plus that and that. So you add those 10 lasers, it breaks it apart. You now have 10 electrons. And then you add the blue one, and it breaks apart the blue one. You now have 4 neutrons. You break apart the green one by adding those. So you add these and these, that breaks apart the neutron. And then you add the yellow ones, and that breaks apart the protons in this design. So then, once they're all broke apart here, in the plasma is basically superheated. Because you're breaking it down to quantum subatomic particles using the new laser technique. It superheats the plasma into quantum subatomic plasma. And then that quantum subatomic plasma that's broken down into these 4 particles is forced through here, this portion here. And that's where we're at. Now, had I not gone to town to get the sub, I wouldn't have come up with this other scientific concept for you to review my scientific facts. So I could probably get some information here, but I don't need to because I already have that first part. But looking at it, this here says air. So let's break these down. So we got air here. And then if we go, we could probably get red out of that. This here is I think that's French for the. Then over here we got the Toro. So in Toronto they have like a CN Tower. That tower at the top, it does like it used to be a broadcasting station. So red, by adding like a red laser, I think you're basically including the grandmother. So you want to think of the light spectrum, right? Like light over here, like over here is radio. And you got micro. And you got infrared, okay? Infrared. So that's what they want you to add in there. So the infrared is this here. This is grandmother, okay? These are all spirits. This is grandmother. And then you got visible light. And then over here is ultraviolet. And you got X-ray. And you got gamma ray. These are grandfather. But the engine's producing gamma rays. So he's already in that engine. what I believe they're saying is fire part 10 and then add like red, air red, the frequency. Because Toronto, that's the CN Tower, right? So it's CN Tower. Let's show you. People who don't know, the CN Tower looks like this. And then there's a big tower on top. And up here is like TV, radio waves. So these TV are these, which includes this infrared wave. And that's why I theorize they want to kind of add infrared to it. I don't quite know what it does. It just adds grandmother to the engine. So you have grandmother and grandfather. So that, you know, like I said before, you want both of them in control of the spaceship, because you don't want when they're moving the spaceship and that engine is pointing in a particular direction. Only they know exactly where to point it in three-dimensional space, so that it doesn't hit a planet when it travels across space, because this stuff will be traveling through space like that for hundreds of billions of years, maybe. I don't know how fast it is, but if it has to shoot between here and the far side of the universe, only grandma and grandpa can make sure that gamma, the micro gamma waves, or the supernova waves coming out of that engine, won't hit a planet in the future. It may take 100 trillion years to create all the planets in the space in the universe. By the time we're done 100 trillion years from now, we don't want these waves that are produced here hitting a planet on the far side of the universe and ripping it apart. So you need to add grandmother, and I think that's what this message is. So you have to research what infrared has to do with it. It's very close to light, so you could add a fourth laser, because that's her in the visible light spectrum. You could add a red laser, and you might include this infrared into your scientific findings. So that's that part there. So Toronto means frequency or grandmother, because of the TV signal. Blue Jays. So these basically, that's there's certain frequencies like in the light spectrum. You would go red, orange, yellow, then green. Those would be grandmother. These would be grandmother here. And then the other ones, which are blue, indigo, then violet. Sorry, I'm looking at that. So these are grandmothers: red, orange, yellow, green. Then these are grandfathers: blue, indigo, violet. And then grandfather is all of these combined, because that's white light or spirituality. So she's this first half. So we basically, you're just saying include that extra red laser and the infrared with the orange, yellow, and green waves. And then grandfather, you might want to do blue, indigo, and violet. So you might want to include maybe all the lasers, because they're saying like there's 10, right? So 10. They're basically saying either include all colors of this laser frequency, which is spirituality, to superheat the plasma, or do it in this fashion here, science. Okay, so it's either this, or include all the lasers there to create to superheat the plasma, and quite possibly that infrared. So that's what blue jays means. Blue means this blue is grandfather. Okay, blue, indigo, violet, spirituality. So they're talking about grandfather over here. So this means grandfather. So this means, see, that's me. So this means grandfather here, this blue one. And then this is basically air. There's birds fly in the air. Now, there's a certain thing with the engine, like with the the planet's core. So that's my soul, because that's J. It's like a representation of air, birds, blue jay. So grandfather means quite possibly planet core. There might be some frequencies in the planet core that could help design this engine. Because J's, that's like Louis. He's an animal. I have an animal soul, which is the planet's core. So there might be saying research frequencies of the planet's core. Like when we have the planet to ourselves, there's different electromagnetic waves. Right now, there's UFOs all hidden all over this planet that we need to find and get off the planet so that we can truly, develop this engine properly, or research it properly, plus research those potential hidden frequencies that we're not used to. Like your science now, if you were to scan the planet's core magnetosphere, you'd have different frequencies because of the UFOs that are hidden here. There's like I think there's 12 hidden UFOs here. There's 3 at the North Pole, 3 at the South Pole, 3 in the Bermuda Triangle, 3 in the Dragon's Triangle, which is 12 UFOs. And those 12 UFOs are 8 miles wide, and they have a big, huge nuclear fusion reactor in them. So those nuclear fusion reactors are messing up our magnetosphere and giving us false readings. So we want to find those nuclear fusion reactors, or we want to find those spaceships so that we can get a true estimate of the planet's core frequency. So in the event that we need to add some sort of frequency to this mix, like we may have to literally add a sound frequency to the engine here. Where'd it go? Right here. This may require sound. We may have to put like a specific frequency. The frequency might be in here. You might want to, because you're pushing sound waves through there, you might want to put like a sound speaker here and frequency, because that's grandfather too. So by adding a specific frequency like 700 or 740 hertz, it's going to help create even more plasma that way, because you're working with grandfather now. You're working with his spirit. You're working over in this section here. You're working with ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. Simply by adding ultraviolet over here and here, you're adding grandfather. By adding infrared here, you're adding grandmother. So the more of these spirits you can add into this engine, the better. Is basically what that bag means there. So again, it's just another example of how I come up with my work or my design drawings for the engine. So you now know, when you hear me talk about the design specs of the engine, you'll know how I came up with it, science.